All right, welcome to another edition of the Above the Bridge podcast. I'm your host, Thaddeus. This is going to be episode 84, our 84th episode. Before we start, I want to shout out our sponsors. Our biggest sponsor is Defend Hawaii. If you go to defendhawaii.com, look out whatever clothing, accessories, anything you need from them, go to defendhawaii.com. They also have a store in Windward Mall called No One that has everything you would see on the website. Go to defendhawaii.com. Find out what they're doing. They're doing a lot of stuff for the community and the Hawaii culture. Shout out to Chris Meheula and Mike B, making a difference for the community and the culture. Go check them out. Defendhawaii.com. Use promo code ATBPOD upon checkout. You'll receive 15% off your entire purchase order. Next up, we have one of my friends, Kaika. He owns IREP Detail Supply. If you go on their website, go to irepdetailsupply.com. They have everything you need to make your car looking, smelling, feeling brand new. Waxes, polishes, buffers, the stuff that make the black molding shiny, tire dressing, anything you could think of to make your car look good. Go to irepdetailsupply.com. Use promo code ATBPOD upon checkout. You'll receive 15% off your entire purchase order. Or go check them out. They have a store in Temple Valley Shopping Center in Kahalu, right across Valley of the Temple. Go check out his store. He has a huge store and he's very knowledgeable of all his products. Go check him out. IREP Detail Supply. Last, we have Hawaii Candy Factory. You see their stuff everywhere. All their snacks been showing up in pretty much every single store or anywhere you look. You see their packaging is called Noms, and it's probably the most funnest candies you could think of. I take it everywhere. They have Lihimui Gushers, lemon peel, belts. I did a fundraiser, and you can get fundraising through them. I fundraised for my daughter's volleyball team, and they have peaches. Lemon peel peaches is my favorite. The Gushers is a huge one, and Nerds, but go check them out. HawaiiCandyFactory.com. Promo code ATBPOD upon checkout. You'll receive 10% off your entire purchase order. Go check them out. Aloha. Okay, this week it's episode 84. I have someone that I admired for a while, and my dad watches him on YouTube. He's the guy on Fire Fishing Hawaii, Joe WADAHARA. He does all these fishing, diving, cooking, and now hunting videos. Welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you for coming on.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. I'm super stoked to be here. It's kind of, Dad, you're the man. Above the Bridge is awesome. So thanks for having me, man.
I appreciate it, and I've been turned on to you because we have a mutual friend. My best friend, Jaron Chun, is a big fan of yours. He was on one of your episodes that I got to watch, and I told him you're coming on, and he's pumped for this. So shout out to Jaron Chun, Makai Monster.
Yeah, that guy is awesome, man. In fact, his one, I think he's just a handsome dude because I put his photo or whatever and our photo for the that one video. His one gets 50,000 views. And I'm like,
all girls.
Yeah, I was like, I've been doing this for years, and all I gotta do is have him on the show, and bam.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, man, I got a lot of questions for you. First off, how did you even get into this YouTube and diving? Like it was. I kind of assumed that you dived at a young age and just kind of brought it over to the whole new social media YouTube kind of thing.
Actually, I think that's a great question because actually, when I grew up, so I grew up on Kauai, and then nobody knows this, but I was born on Big Island, but all my family's from Kaneohe, but I was born on Big Island, raised on Kauai, and I really didn't dive at all on Kauai. I think I went like a couple times with my dad and I almost drowned. And then I was kind of like, oh, I'll just stick to fishing. So I really was a really pretty good fisherman, but just near shore. And then to answer the question, basically when the pandemic started, you know how it was, right? It was like,
yeah,
You couldn't do anything but go to the beach. And
Oh,
you had to be in the water, actively fishing or doing something just to live or just to have fun. So that's how the show started. So I fishing dove way before that. Well, actually, when I came up to Oahu, I became a fireman, and that's how I kind of got it into the diving because all these other firemen are hammer divers, right? So you're like, you want to come? I suck, but yeah, right on. Because when I was a firefighter in Maui, that was like actually my first firefighting thing. I was in Maui and I was in Hana, and
oh,
I don't care if you suck at diving or fishing, you're gonna catch something. I mean, it's amazing. So that was kind of my start to the diving because my whole crew and my classmate from Maui Fire were all hammer divers. So every time we got off work, they'll just let me tag along,
oh,
and then
that's cool.
that's how it all started. And then for the show, which is funny, is it's kind of a funny story. So I, I had this one other friend that did YouTube, and I say, "Hey, man, hey, let me be on it. Let's go." And it's totally ghosted me. So then, so then I thought, you know what? Can't beat him. Join him or just, right? Don't be mad at him, right?
Yeah,
Anything you do in life, right? You can't be mad
yeah,
at somebody. You just go, if you don't like it, do something.
yeah.
So I bought the cheapest camera I could buy and then just hacked it till I made it, basically. You know what I mean? That's
Well,
kind of that's how it started.
your personality kind of comes out, and you're a good speaker, and how you are on camera is easy to watch, and you're very personable, and you give detailed descriptions of what you're doing, and you feel like you're part of the experience. So it's kind of like maybe a natural talent that you have. Maybe you didn't even know you had it, unless you've been doing speaking for a long time.
No, I'm actually pretty I'm not shy, but I'm a horrible speaker. So usually it's a lot of ums and cuss words. So
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
don't do well in public speaking, but I think the show really helped develop that. You know what I mean? And as you get
yeah.
a different perspective, actually, I'm sure even you see it when you listen to yourself on the show or other things. Like you're like, ooh, I gotta speak better.
Yep, I definitely. Or the worst is my daughter. Dad, you say too much, or you say like too much, or like
Right, right.
she's my biggest critic. But I guess it's cool. I mean, it helps me kind of focus on not doing some things. Of course, it'll come out every now and then, but I do try. I do try. So you bet what I want to know, what do you like better, or is it kind of mutual? Do you like fishing or diving better? I know it's a whole kind of separate thing, but
Yeah, you know what? To be honest, because people ask that all the time because it seems like a lot of fishermen also are divers, but hardcore divers usually don't fish as much. I mean,
yeah.
let's go either way, but I would like to say I'm more of a fisherman because that's what I grew up doing. But I do enjoy diving sometimes more because you could fish all day and not even see a fish. I mean, at
Yeah.
all, or anything really cool. Like all you see is water and it's relaxing, it's nice. But when you're diving, it's just like a different world, a completely different world. When you jump in the water, the noises, you can hear, like literally hear the coral. I know that sounds weird, but that little crackly sound, that's like part of it. So you're in a different world and you get to see amazing things. Even if you don't shoot anything, you're like, oh, now I just had the most amazing, relaxing day. So to me, I'm both. And I think now I'm getting more into diving, but I'm nowhere near all these hammers. Like they're just too many like good guys like Jaron, right? Like I was scared to invite him because I know how deep he goes and how he does. And I one time I went with these group of friends or through YouTube. Hey Joe, come out. Sure. And it was way past my comfort zone. Once I started
Oh.
hearing whales and dolphins swam by, I'm like, yo, we're too deep. Like, no, I don't. I'm going in, man. This is nope. So I got out. I actually got
I
out of the
cannot
water.
see the bottom.
Yeah, like if I drop something, I can't even grab it. Like I'm done. My even my for my floater is not even long enough to like reach the bottom. Like, yep, no, no. So now I kind of
But
like,
at least you know your limits. A lot of people, if they're with other people, kind of try to follow the crowd and try to do something, and then something bad could happen because they're not as experienced.
yeah, totally. If you make tantaran in the ocean, man, especially I think make tantaran surfing or
Oh yeah.
diving, you catch cracks.
Oh yeah.
So don't do it. Just know your limits.
That's kind of the same rule if you're in the club too. You make tantaran, you can catch cracks.
You know what I mean? Like you just gotta know your place. Like
Yeah.
ah,
I always thought fishing would be for me because it would be a better excuse for me to just sit on the beach and drink beers with my friends.
that is true. That yeah, I don't know how to fish and not drink. So that's the thing. That's hard. Yeah.
At worst, you can have a fun night with your boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then that's kind of cool too because when you go fishing, you actually can go with a lot of people and it's just hang out. And if you catch something great,
Yeah,
yeah, I kind of feel like it's super relaxing. But I really do want to get something because it's a lot of
yeah,
work.
yeah.
Like if I'm gonna risk my life and swim all the way out there or shoot something and a shark comes in, I'm like, I gotta come home with this, please. You know what I mean?
So have you seen sharks? I know recently they've been being spotted all over the place. One guy just got bit a couple weeks ago.
Right?
They're in the harbor. Like, have you ever got encountered with one while you dove, or even if you were fishing?
Yeah, no, so what's funny is before when I used to dive, I never saw like let's say 10, 15 years ago, I never saw a shark. Like, I mean, while I'm diving. But then now I think I'm getting better and deeper and I'm pushing the limits. Now I'd like to say I see them a lot. Like a lot. Which is scary, but at the same time, I think the more comfortable you get with them and know it's just not part of the game, but like if I see them and I got fish, I try to get out. But it's kind of just how it is. And I don't know, and this is controversial, but I don't know if it's also that in I think 2022, I believe, or 2000s, in the recent history, they just banned shark fishing. So
Oh.
even if you caught it on a pole, you have to release it. You can't catch sharks or stingrays. So it's a good thing, and I'm for it because it's too what it is it's to ban shark fishing. These longliners coming in, cutting all the shark fins and
Oh,
leaving
throwing
sharks
them in the
out.
water.
Yeah, but nowadays, if you can't even do it for catch sharks for bait and other stuff like some other people that crab do, I think the shark population in the next like 10 years is gonna just explode. Which could be
Oh,
a good thing or bad thing. I mean, it's good for the sharks, good for everything, but I think you're gonna see a lot more shark activity coming up.
so more
And
people gonna get bit then.
oh, who knows? You know, I mean, I don't know. I'm not pushing one way or the other, but I just
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see in the next couple of years now that they ban all harming of sharks or anything. And I'm not for shark hunting, but just to see how the numbers go and how much more interaction, right?
Yeah. So the sharks you encounter while diving, are they more the aggressive kind, like tigers and that kind of shark?
So thank goodness I've never saw a tiger while I was diving. So I
Oh,
see them on the boat or I was driving my boat and like, oh, it's right behind us, like and monster in the bay. So it's
oh
scary.
wow.
But lucky enough in Canada Bay, I'm a Canada Bay guy. A lot of hammerheads and a lot of reef sharks. And the
Okay.
reef sharks, you're gonna see them. Like almost like I think they're so used to divers that once they even hear your trigger, like I'll go, I'm like always coming in. Somebody's coming in. So I try to bring them in quick, brain them, and then get them to the boat or get them someplace. Because like I would say one out of 4 or 5 times
Oh
that
wow.
a shark will come in,
So
especially if it's feeding.
reef sharks you can kind of tell, and it's not too scary, but
Uh,
a tiger would be.
you
I
know
I would
what?
assume.
I'm kind of scared of the reef sharks. I mean, I know everybody's
Yeah,
like, nah, like, but they're like to me, they're like stray dogs. They're um, like you know how like your neighborhood, if there's a stray dog, you're like, he's cool, but he's cool too. He's not. Like if he started
yeah,
coming aggressive, you're like, oh, I gotta get out of here. It's same thing
yeah.
because they're kind of like they have this beady eye, which is weird. If you ever look at their eyes, like really beady. So they look like punks, like straight up teenager kind of like, hey uncle, give me your money. Oh, what?
I like fish.
No, but at the same time, I don't want beef. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
But it's kind of funny. Like they're cool, but they're not.
yeah. That's
But if I
true.
saw a
And
tiger, I'm done. Like I'm
oh,
done. It's guys. You seen Jaren? That dude like grabbed the tiger's tail.
yeah, I edited that video for him. And when he first seen me, he's like, "Oh yeah, going shark on there," and I'm like messing and looking at the clips. And I called him like, "Bruh, you can grab his tail."
Yeah,
Like,
I was like,
what? You
nope.
nuts, bruh. He go, they're not gonna do nothing. They just cruising. I'm like, bruh, people
You
get
know,
bit by those things. Like,
hey, I don't care if you're small. I don't mess with them, man. And
yeah.
then he's not messing with. I think when you have that cool, calm demeanor, they're like, okay, you're not prey. You're like an equal.
I don't know. I think Jaren like test him. I think half of him really like test him. See what's up. He get
Like
that.
I don't have
He's on
that.
punk mentality too, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. He has that. What's up? I'm like,
Yeah,
the shark's like, oh what? Oh no, just
yeah.
just joking.
So I wanted to know, in the recent maybe like 4 or 5 years, have you noticed the depletement of fish in at least on Oahu?
You know what? I think so, but I don't think it's just Oahu. I have friends on Maui, Big Island, Kauai. They all say the same thing. So I just think it's a usually whenever there are big topics like this, it's never just one thing. And then I think a
Mm.
lot of people like try to like polarize it or just like kind of keyhole it as far as hey, this is why fishing, overfishing, overdiving. It's a combination of I think one like I work with Kulena Coral, I promote them. They work
Okay.
with coral reefs. So the warmer water temperatures are now bleaching reefs and destroying their habitat. You have other
Oh.
things like roys, other invasive roys, ta'ape, tuau that are eating all our native fishes' food and them and taking over their habitat where they live. So that's why I flew to Maui to help with this invasive species roundup because I think it's good if all the divers can get together, have more tournaments like this to get rid of all the reefs of all these invasive pests. It'll be huge. So it's a Nino, like warming of the water, the loss of habitat, the invasive species, and then COVID. COVID, the only thing you could do is fish or dive. So a lot of people that never fished or dived before are out there. So that's why I kind of started the show too, is because I wanted to educate people to, hey, but catch responsibly, feed your family, but don't just catch everything. And then people tell me all the time, hey, let them grow to let them grow. Hey, right on. Because if you try to learn on your own, you're going to keep everything because you just don't know better. You know,
Yeah.
dumb. They just don't know better and they're excited.
Yeah.
But I think a combination of all these things leads up to less fish. So to me, instead of just looking at the problems, hey, what's the solutions? You know,
Yeah.
fish
And
responsibly, educate people, inspire people to do better. You know,
that's true. And I think a lot, I mean, maybe not much, but a lot of people try to pound fish, and I hate to say it because it looks cool holding up that big string on social media, and you get that view and those, oh, that guy's a good diver, but You're
Yeah,
right. Like if you're not going to if you're not going to eat all those fish, and if it's not just for your family, then it's kind of unnecessary.
yeah, I'm kind of against that. Like I don't mind if you catch enough for your family, but don't rape the reef.
Yeah.
Or do it for likes or like like
Yeah.
if you really eat it or really treasure it, then what I mean, let them pass. But yeah, people do like trophy hunt. That's what is
Yeah.
basically. You're doing it not for sustainability or for food. It's just a selfish act of look at me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Exactly.
it's hard, and I got it. There's both sides of the coin, but you know, but I do think really good divers, especially, the better they get, the more selective and more like who they are. I
Yeah.
think it's the guys that are kind of first getting into it and the younger guys, and that's why I like to educate them or like inspire them. Hey, let them grow this, and also because like then they kind of like get it. But
Yeah.
if not, it's all social media, yeah.
Yeah.
Feel that
Exactly.
need, yeah.
I had Chef Kale from Hawaii's
Oh,
Only on. Yeah, super good guy. And he
he's a super nice guy.
so he was explaining to me how in town you only can dive certain time or certain parts, certain years or certain parts of the year. I'm not
Oh, yeah.
sure. And he was under the impression where if you could do that in sporadic moments throughout the whole island, like go from here to here on this island, you cannot dive over here, and then move it down and then move it down. He said 3 months of just nothing bothering any of the fish could make a huge difference. I don't know if you would have that same opinion.
Um, yeah, yes and no. I do agree with him on that, and I think kind of alleviating pressure on certain areas is huge. I mean, that's absolutely huge. But I don't think 3 months at a time or certain things because like how so that one is it's every other year.
Oh, every other year.
So
Oh, that's
it's
a long time then.
yeah, because you have to think about it's the breeding cycle of the fish. So if
Yeah.
you can have 1 year of breeding cycle of summer, juvenile, and growth to reproduction stage, and it could take years, but at least the juveniles could grow. Um, that's what it's for, and I think that's absolutely huge. I think one of the hardest issues is enforcement.
That was going to be my next question.
So they could do it, but in my humble opinion, what would happen is only only the people following the laws and wanting to make a difference will be punished.
Yeah.
All the other guys that are just pounding anyway, they're gonna do it no matter what
Mhm.
because it's the same repeat offenders, it's the same lay netters, it's the same guys pounding for profit. Not
Yeah.
you're not pounding or getting food or family. You're doing it for money and greed.
Yeah.
And I don't think the punishment is strong enough or the enforcement is strong enough to make that a viable option.
Wow. So in town or Waikiki or wherever that year rest they have, you
Yeah.
think people are actually going out there in those time frames and poaching fish and doing illegal diving in those areas while the restriction is happening?
Yes and no. So if you look at the DNR stuff, you can actually look at it. So there's a lot of people that got in trouble for like let's say night diving. And I'm
Okay.
not saying it's a particular race or whatever, but it is. It's a problem. Because they're actually coming out our side, west. Sorry, Windward side, North Shore side, and they're going nighttime because fish are sleeping, and
Oh.
since they're doing it semi illegal anyway, they might as well go all out and they just pound everything. Then they get
Oh.
in trouble. We have to go rescue them, and then even we get the helicopter looking for them because somebody called because one of them almost drowned. Now they turn off their lights straight up. I see them. I can see them in the water. And then ever since whatever 2000 something, DLNR said now if you night dive, your float has to have a light on it, and not
Oh,
your flag has to be illuminated, which hardly anybody knows about.
wow.
But that's one of the things. That way, if we're doing it, we have to find you. We can find you and rescue you. But these guys, they know they're doing something wrong, so they turn off their lights, all their lights, swimming down the shore, hide their gear, hide their fish, then come in and go, "Oh, we're not doing nothing," and then grab their stuff and dig.
We
So
snorkeling.
it's just bad, you know. But normal, everyday mom and pop kid, they're not doing that. You know,
Yeah.
they're all trying to play by the rules. So it's a hard thing. I just think enforcement has to be stricter.
Yeah. It's
You know,
hard though. I mean, it's like the whole coast, and I mean, you're easily hidden, and the people enforcement aren't. So it's
like
kind of hard to enforce it. It goes by the honor system, I guess.
right, and I think that's why the town one kind of works because you have so much people in that general area
Yeah.
that if you see a light in the water, all these condos, all these people, all these rich people, all these other, wow, just to let the DNR know. But if you said, "Oh, we're banning all fishing and diving the windward side this year," then the west side will get pounded. Okay, from
Oh,
this area for the west side, that then all those west side guys will come my side, and then like our Apua is now being
off
pounded,
balance.
and
Hmm.
it's gonna just be like bam. So I'm not saying there's easy answers to anything, you
Yeah.
know, but that's why I'm a very big proponent to education and inspiring people. Because to be honest, they've done studies and ed, there's a like even for a fire department, there's like education, engineering, enforcement, right? There's all kinds of different ways, right?
Yeah.
Enforcement is usually the least effective. Right? I mean, we see it in everyday life. Schools, right? Hey, we'll give you a detention.
Yeah.
Same thing, right? But if you somehow change their life or their living environment or just their goals in life, the person changes, and that's a lifetime of change.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the domino effect of they teaching their kids to be like, nah, let that one go, not get nothing. Okay, okay, cool. So it's hard. It's uphill battle, you know.
Yeah. See, it seems like you're making it your passion, and you're doing it with a positive message, but have you been getting frustrated, or is there times where it's like, brah, am I really making a difference? Or you're just like, I'm just gonna keep doing it. I'm going every little bit helps.
Nah, that's actually oh, see, you get it. It's like you know
Yeah.
the motivation of digging in the sand, right?
Yeah.
You know, you dig in, and more you dig, more sand falls in. But eh, or even throwing the story about the seashells, right, or the starfish all washed up on the shore.
Correct.
He was walking the beach, and then he's like throwing all these. But the guy looks at him, oh, why are you saving all these starfish? There's thousands on the shore. And then, but they're like, oh, but for this one starfish, it made a difference. So yeah, it's an uphill battle, but I think whatever little difference I can make, it's huge.
It
And
is, and that's the mentality that I would think a lot more people would take too. And I don't know, watching your videos, like I would hate to do something that would let you down, and I didn't even know you, and I'd be like, right, that guy's trying to make a difference. Listen, I even hear on the radio now they're talking. They have a Uhu commercial. Just take one for your family. No need pound like choke. I was
yeah,
listening to that, and I'm like, oh, is that a problem now? Like I didn't. It's that big of a problem where they have commercials for it on the radio. I was
mm,
kind of driving to work thinking like, whoa, that's the first. I never heard that before living in Hawaii. Like, is it
right.
getting bad?
And I think it's just like kind of different. Like, I mean, it's not anybody's fault, but it's just different generation from when,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Oh
you kind of
yeah.
have, more norms, but now norms are self promotion, self this, more
Yeah.
me mentality versus hey us
Yeah.
mentality.
Yeah.
So
Or future and long term.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not blaming millennials. Hey, you
Yeah,
guys are an awesome bunch of groups, but and those guys can change the world. You get
exactly.
one dude touch millions of people, and that dude's like 15, 16 with an iPhone. I'm like,
Yeah.
10 years ago, you just be some dude in high school,
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think if I may not do anything, but if I inspire one person to do it and they change the world, right on, right? You know what I mean? That's huge.
Well, that's the mentality you gotta have, and yeah, every every little change starts with you, and then you don't know who you inspire, and it could lead to something. So you were telling me about the evasive fish tournament.
Yeah, yeah.
Are those fish edible? Can you eat those fish? Because then that would be a good way. Like you can pound the invasive fish and then you can eat them, and then that might be a good solution.
No, right? So that's a yes and no question. That's like the $1 million question. So, the top three invasives are Roy, Tawal, and Tapi.
Okay.
Roy was introduced in the 19, I believe, I looked it up, but I think it was 1950s or 80s or something like that, by the state of Hawaii. Dylan Hart brought it in. And then now
Oh,
it's the number one horrible,
problem.
yeah, like a lot of things, like Mongoose, right? Mongoose
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
brought in and like, no, it wasn't. Yeah, by the state. So same thing. Roy was brought in as a sustainable food stores, other places. It grows big, grows fast, eats a lot of stuff. Super delicious. And don't get me wrong, they are amazing. If you go to a Chinese restaurant and you order sea bass, I would like to say 9 out of 10 times it might be that. I'm not throwing them on the bus. I'm just letting you know that,
That's the secret.
but it's super good. But what happened is the high risk of ciguataria, which is a ciguatoxin,
Mm.
which is there's a lot of science about it, but not to go super far into it. It's just they got really hot in getting this ciguatoxin. So nobody wants to eat them in the fear of getting ciguataria.
Oh,
Now, this one super food that can it's good, easy, good eating, easy to shoot, plenty of them for everybody to shoot instead of colas and stuff. Now is a monster. And then same thing with top and toal. Toal is just a blacktail snapper, which is same thing, eats multiplies fast. But tope is a blue line snapper, which is it just that one is rampant. That one they grow so fast and populate so much that they're like rats. But
oh,
that one you can eat, and you don't need to worry so much about ciguatoxin. So I think commercial fishermen should just pound that and market it as some kind of snapper. And like all these chefs out there should really like look into this. Like, hey, buying a cheap product but making it into restaurants, like a lot of other fish in the world that weren't
yeah.
marketed back in the day, but now Branzino, you heard of that fish, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a sea bass, but it was like a nothing fish. Now it's like, yo, it's all marketing. It's all marketing. So
Yeah, like
hopefully,
tilapia, they're known as dirt
oh
mud
yeah,
fish, but in the restaurants they're called whitefish, and it's delicious.
right.
But if they put on the menu, oh tilapia, you think Alawai, you think
No,
Kanyo
right.
stream.
Nobody eats it, but now that's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
tilapia. I can figure tilapia, man. In fact, even some Japanese restaurant, I think they market it under Izumi or some other brand name, but it's actually tilapia, which is insane. Like
Yeah.
you served that here and you said, "Hey, what is this sashimi? Tilapia?" Nope.
Yo, I don't want it.
But you market something else. Oh, it's amazing. So hopefully they can market something else. But the Roy one, I think, because of the high spike in ciguatera rates, it's just too risky.
Yeah. Is there any way to bring that down?
Um, I don't know the science. Even the scientists don't know enough science about it because they
Oh
had
wow.
tests and they had UH research do it, UH lab, all these things, and They even had a product that could test for it and all this stuff. And everybody bought into it. But do you see it on the market anymore? Zero.
Yeah.
Because I think it's not reliable. Because the way the science behind it says, if it's a cygatoxin, means a toxin that can never leave the body.
Oh.
Basically, eventually every reef fish in the state of Hawaii should build up some of it to a point of everything shouldn't have, like you can't eat anything.
Yeah.
But yet people still do. So I think, and this is personal, I think it's location. It's location, weather, and a lot of other factors that cause these algae blooms and things to go bad in that environment to make a spike in these cygatoxins so they get like a hot spot, they call it.
I
So like
see.
Honolulu Bay in Kauai, I wouldn't eat anything from there because what I think, and again, this is my personal opinion, is like, let's say algae, right? It's a
Yeah.
plant. And you have Princeville and you have all the taro farmers, all Honolulu, right? All that water has to go to the golf course and also the taro fields. Taro fields,
Okay.
because they have taro every year and they don't cross, I guess, plant or whatever, you have to add fertilizer to the soil to make that sustainable and keep growing. Some of that fertilizer, to me, has to go out into ocean, right?
Eventually, yeah.
I mean, into water and straight into the ocean, which algae plants. Now you're giving them fertilizer. They're going to bloom. And then now these big blooms, that's what these herbivores, all these little small fish eat. And then all roids and topics swap eat those fish. And that's how the cygatoxins move up the chain. So to say the bigger predators have the highest level of cygatoxins because they eat all these little fish that eat these algae. So I think it's blooms caused by multiple effects, not just the golf course, not just town, not just blooms. Water temperature, fertilizer, algae growth, food growth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a complex thing. I don't think you say just ban this and it'll all go away. I feel pretty safe eating like a roy about this size from Kaneohe Bay or like outside Kaneohe Bay. Would I eat that from Honolulu or any place? No way. Okay, just throw it in the yard, bury it, make it fertilizer, good to go.
Yeah.
So you have more like tournaments like these invasive ones and use it for fertilizer. Or in Maui, what's so cool is they actually contacted the Maui Ocean Center.
Yeah.
All the fish got donated there to feed the sharks that are in captivity.
Oh,
eating
I see.
Fish. I was like, oh, it's a win-win. That's amazing.
Well, that's super cool. And yeah, that's one way to help get rid of some of those. Because once the reef goes, it's hard to have it regrow, correct?
Yeah. So it's like a domino effect, or a butterfly effect, I should say. Every little thing gets bigger and bigger, everything from the reef to the fish to a lot of other things, right?
Yeah. And I hear it all the time, especially from the older generation. Oh, the Kaneohe Bay used to be crystal clear, or the waters over there has so much fish and all the reef's dead. And you just kind of in one ear out the other ear. But if you stop and think about it, how is it going to be when our kids are diving or their kids? And I'm going to be like, oh yeah, the reef was kind of cool over now, but now it's, and then of what it was when our parents or our grandparents was around. Oh, it's like Hawaii's a different place already.
Right. So I think, I mean, I'm not an expert, you know what I mean? But I just think, like how you think, if everybody's thought like that, and we can change people's minds, say, hey, don't think about you, think about your kids or next generation.
Yeah.
And they go, okay, yeah. And this may be unpopular suggestion, maybe, but I've seen it work in other industries for fishing is they have a so fish have a breeding cycle. They're obviously we always have the too small, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, back in the day, we catch papio like shaka size smaller. That was like everybody's favorite. Like grandmas would be like, oh yeah, I like that one. That one is great. It's brown crispy. That's the one you want. The tiny one. Now, oh, you catch that. Everybody, whoa, brah. Throw
Yeah.
that. Like now, 10 inches is pretty good size, and that's like the minimal size, which is good.
Okay.
Well, again, this is the unpopular side. I think they should be a top side
I
also.
see.
Because like when you go to Alaska and other places in the world or surgeon, like caviar, like or all these other certain fish, they say, hey, you can catch them below this size to this size, and this is all legal. Once it hits this size, you have to let them go.
Oh,
Because
like a cap on the other end.
yeah, because actually there's a breeding cycle of once you hit this size, now you're a mega breeder.
Oh.
A fish this size, oh, how many eggs? Oh, like 100 eggs, whatever it is, right? A fish that is this big, how many eggs? Thousands and thousands of eggs. You know
Oh,
how nuts that is?
that's
So
crazy.
if you took 100 papillo this size, you put a dent in the population.
Yeah.
You take that 180-pounder out, you might have took 100,000 fish out. I mean, again, it's very unpopular, for a little guy. I'm just saying, like,
Wow, that's a good concept though.
you know what I mean? And I know it sucks, but maybe there should be a top end too. There's a bottom end,
Yeah.
maybe there should be a top end. I know it sucks, but
Oh,
maybe I don't
that's
know.
that's a good topic for discussion, man. It could make a difference, like you said.
But yeah, I guess people don't just understand the science. So
Yeah.
I think education and inspiration is the key.
Yep. And you doing your part. But you also are an amazing cook from what I seen. And right, even watching you make sushi and like how you pinch the rice, how'd you learn how to cook like that and make all those dishes? Because I know you cannot just Google that kind of stuff, bro.
You'd be surprised. No. Nowadays, you can learn everything on the internet.
I guess so. I guess so.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it is firehouse. I was
Mm,
I was in the firehouse since I was like 23, which is pretty young.
yeah.
So now I'm 43. You know what I mean? So like it's like 20 years in the department. I think just learning from everybody how to like cook and how to that's the base. And then I worked in a restaurant like Formaggio's in Kailua.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the experience, man. Like that you experienced Karens before Karens were invented.
Oh, bruh.
You know what I'm saying?
Kailua, yeah, don't get me started.
Ooh, I won't say anything. I don't want to touch on that subject, but dang, it's a learning experience. Let me say it.
I
And then,
just
and then
seen a shirt that said, "Oh, if you want a city full of Karens," and then it says Kailua at the bottom. I was like, "Oh,"
yeah,
I
that was
literally just saw that last week.
yeah. So that was the experience. But I learned a lot from them, and then um, yeah, a lot even from this YouTube or Instagram and all this. I just love food, so I kind of self teach myself, like learn, watch a lot of stuff, and just do it.
Uh,
So
oh,
yeah,
you're
hey, if I can do it, you can do it.
exactly. You're your firehouse guys must love when it's your turn for dinner though, because you got the fire going on. You got all kind of dishes.
You know, I'm very lucky that my crew it's an older crew, so they all can cook.
Oh,
Everybody
okay.
can cook. The only junk part is like if I catch fish, it's not like, hey, I brought fish. It's like your turn to cook, but yeah, it's me. So it's like, oh, I got fish, but yeah, I guess I'm making everything. Here we go.
I caught it. Now I gotta cook it, and I gotta clean them. Like,
Because actually, my old fire captain was my fishing buddy. That's how it actually all started, too.
okay.
So when I started this whole process, was kind of like threefold. You know, like I want to just inspire people. I want to like educate people, but then also I wanted to document um just like old school hammers. You know what I mean? The guys, the legends of the sport, of the thing that taught me everything. Like your dad, like I'm sure you looked up to him, and
Yeah.
like this guy knows so much about this and passionate about this. Same thing for me. Cap Johnson, he was my captain. He was kind of like a Hanai dad to me. He taught me everything about boat fishing and other fishing and crab, all this stuff. So I was like, you know what? He's getting kind of up there in age, and he cannot do it anymore. So I
Yeah.
want to document it before he cannot, because he had like all girls, you know, that kind of like, you know, man's man and who all girls. So
Yeah.
now I'm trying to get grandkids and trying to get boys and stuff, but I think the gap is too big where he cannot teach them. They're just too young.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
eventually, I just wanted them to show them, like, hey, like, see your papa. Hey, look, me and him used to do all this, and they can see it and learn it. And maybe I can teach them, but at least they can have that. Basically, a
Wow.
virtual time capsule or a virtual, um, what is it called, like photo album in a way.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to document like just these Hawaii hammers of these
Legends, huh?
legends of the sport.
That's
So
a that's an
a lot of
interesting
guys ask
concept.
me, and I try to go with them and document this because when they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's why a lot of guys ask me to come, and I go because you know, like hey, if your dad ever wants to have an episode, and we
Oh,
go,
he's old. He can't do that no more. But I grew up. He had a boat and it was called
really,
Olukai. Yeah, he had an Olukai, and I would go out with my uncles like from 7th grade to about 10th grade.
really,
Every weekend, I learned how to troll and fish
wow,
and cut fish and
you get seasick and
uh yeah, it was some of the most memorable time of my life with my dad. And to this day, I'll bring something up and he'll talk about it, or something will spark a memory. And yeah, it was a bonding time that I had with my dad. And if there was somebody like you that were on the boat and documented, that those videos be priceless to me.
right.
Like
And I wish
priceless.
right now you wish you had it, huh?
Oh, 100%. I would pay big money for that. To have
Yeah.
someone document or film and talk and showcase my dad and my uncle them and on our boat from back in the day, that would be that. There's no monetary price you could put on that. Yeah.
Yeah, so to me, that's kind of like, God, I was like,
That's
my gift
awesome.
to him. And
Yeah.
in fact, the boat that I have now is his boat. He just said, "Hey, you know what? I'm too old. I cannot do it anymore. Buy it now, or it's gone." I was like, "Ooh, I don't have the money, but I just get together. Mom, I got to borrow some money. I got something I cannot let go."
Yeah.
So
His mana is in that boat, and bro, that's you cannot just purchase something like
yeah, because he wanted
off
to kind
the.
of pass it down to
Yeah.
me, you know.
That's
Because how's
super
it?
cool.
Did you guys have you do you get seasick at all?
The first time I ever went, I did. Every time after that, never did. Yep.
Really?
Yep. Never
Wow,
did. And I was young too. I was like 6th grade the first time I went. And then
really?
yeah, after that.
You get them in the blood. That's why.
No,
Oh
I
my
think I was more
goodness.
scared for getting lickings for puking on the boat.
No, because I went for 10 years with him, and every time I stepped on that boat, I'll throw up.
Oh.
It's because everything's I don't get seasick, but I get it. Every time. We could be flat, like flat, flat, flat. As soon as I step on a boat, I'm like, oh God, oh God. And he's just let it go, let it go. I'm like, every time I'll just puke for 10 years. It was bad. But now I think something happened where I'm okay with it.
Oh, that's good.
But
Also, I wanted to mention is your children are going to be able to see these videos when they're older, and not anytime soon, but when you're gone. And that's one of the reasons why I do the podcast. But so my daughter can hear these cool conversations I have with people and get to know the person I am. But your kids will be able to see you interact with other people, uh, trying to make a difference in the state and what you're doing, and even cooking. And oh yeah, I remember that day when cooked that fish, or I remember that day when it'll just have little triggers, and bruh, like it's something you don't realize now, but bruh, in the future, your kids are gonna be they're gonna be over the moon that you made these videos, and they'll be able to tap into it whenever they're missing you, or whenever they just want a good memory. And some of your kids are in some of the videos, so bruh, that stuff is gonna be it's going to be valuable beyond anything you can imagine. I already know. And I do the same thing. I have my daughter on every year Christmas time, one episode, and we talk. And I want to see every year we'll do one, and she'll be able to have a one episode, just me and her talking, until hopefully till she's older, and when I'm gone she can just tap into that. And I'm hoping, bro, it's maybe my sense of nostalgia, but I'm hoping that it'll matter that much eventually. But guarantee your kids are gonna be
I think so. I think it's like when you're when always when she's 18, like it'd be like bam, 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 you put them all together, make a little
yeah,
series. It's amazing. I
yeah.
guarantee she's watching like when we're old, she'd be like, oh yeah, or even when we're gone,
Exactly.
hopefully
Yep.
they can look back and go, oh yeah, that's some good times.
Yep. And you could inspire somebody else, somebody who's gonna have their own YouTube channel or a show, and invite you on as one of the legends in the future. And oh yeah, I had on fire fishing, I had Joe on, and bruh, it's like he was one of my inspirations. Like it could matter that way too, bruh. You never know. It's something that a lot of people talk about doing, and it's hard, bruh. Like for you, you drop a video pretty often, right?
I try to do one a week, which is
Yeah,
insane. I mean,
exactly.
you think, oh yeah, well, just like you have no, unless if you do editing or else, and this is all self-taught. I didn't even know how to turn on the computer prior to this thing. Like it was bad. Like like the amount of, if you think about every 5 minutes is probably of edited film is probably like an hours worth of work.
Yep.
So if you imagine somebody's 20 minutes, how much time it takes. So um yeah, it's just hard, man. It's like super hard. But I try to make one a week. Just you know, like almost like you're a part of my life, and people do
Yep.
feel like, oh, you're.
Yep.
I never met a bunch of people online, but they comment every week, and I appreciate them, and I feel like if I met them, I'm like, oh yeah, I've known you for years. Like
Yeah,
really,
exactly.
I made all these crazy relationships, and even through YouTube, like that whole Maui thing with the tournament was all through YouTube. And the guy I stayed with, I met him through YouTube.
Oh,
And he's
wow.
like, yeah, back to my house. Let's do this. You're my partner for the tournament. Let's got your
Oh,
card, like set the whole thing up. And it's funny that it's like we're friends forever, but we actually met through YouTube, through
oh,
one
that's
of my
super cool.
shows. Crazy how things, this is like years later now, so
Yeah.
it's kind of neat, you
Yeah.
know?
It's cool too, because I would Jaren would give me some of his GoPro videos, and I'll try to edit him certain videos, and I'm watching what he watches, and it's like long clips, and like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
you see all kinds of stuff, and it's kind of cool for that aspect. So what do you use to edit? Because you always voice over. I assume you're voicing over. I know you're not talking like while
Yeah.
you're doing it, but what programs do you use? Is that like you using Final Cut, or what do you guys?
Oh, right. So I'm actually using, as I said, I didn't even know how to turn on a computer. I literally had to buy this computer I'm talking about now, right now, just to even make the show. Like that's how sad it is. So since I have an iPhone, I bought I guess it's called a MacBook, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So that way I can just airdrop it instead of like trying to plug it in. So I
Mhm.
just use iMovie because it's free.
Yep, it
Well,
works.
I think everybody else uses all these other Final Cuts and Premiere, and I just don't know how. I just went with Mac because that's what I kind of tried to learn on, just because of my
Yeah.
phone, you know.
Right, you'd be surprised though, how compatible iMovie is with Final Cut.
Oh,
Cause
really? Is
I
that
had a yeah, so I had a producer. He runs Olelo, and then he got promoted and he couldn't produce my show. So it was to the point where it's either gonna stop or I gotta learn it myself. So I use the same thing, iMovie. And
Right.
there's a few things I wish I would say. I wish I could do this. I can do this with iMovie, but I wish it was like layers and stuff. Your
Yeah.
limited layers. Like I
Yeah.
think it's 2 or 3. And one of my best friends, DJ Hoppa Boy, he does video editing. He did his
Wow.
dad is Tiny Tadani, so he edited Tiny
Oh,
TV since he was in high school. And he
wow.
does all these cool videos and commercials, and he that's one of his main jobs other than DJing. And he talked me into it. He's like, "Brah, just go get Final Cut Pro." And I'm like, "No way, brah, it's $300." And
Really?
he's like, "Brah, just freaking shell out the money, go get it, and you'll be surprised how compatible it is and how big your capabilities are." And one day I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna do it." And I bought it, and then fear is what stopped me
Right.
from doing it. And like you said, you can figure out anything on YouTube. So if I had a question, I had the luxury of calling him, but I could also go on YouTube, and there's so much Final Cut Pro tutorials on there. And it got to the point where, oh, I learned this. And then I would say, oh, I wish I could do this. Just try Google them. Oh, that's how you do it. And then I just started learning, and then I got excited because now I'm learning something new, and I haven't really learned new stuff in a long time. And then I started thinking, oh, okay, now I can edit my show, and now I'm producing it myself, and it's exciting and gratifying, and I'm learning stuff. Then Jaren asked me to make his dive videos, so I would start messing with that. It's kind of little, like, not like professional or anything, but it you can see the levels of it getting better as my skills are getting better. And bro, I would say, dude, you would use Final Cut Pro, and it's on a Mac. I have a Mac,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it'll just open up your capabilities.
And
Granted, you gotta shell out the $300, but
it's fine, but is that easier, you think, or is it actually more complex?
there's more things you can do with it. So
Oh,
it's pretty much, you can do exactly what you do on iMovie.
yeah.
So you can do exactly what you do on iMovie, but then the scope of what more you can do is there's no cap. And
Wow.
they have plugins and all stuff. iMovie is good, but you might have outgrown it. And
No,
it meant,
there's actually a lot of things that I probably should be scaling up, but like you
yeah,
said, fear is a big thing.
yeah,
Fear and money, because you're like, well, I don't want to spend all this money, and then
yeah,
you know what I mean, because I mean, I get paid by YouTube, but not like these other guys. You know what I mean? Not
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah, whatever I want, let's go, right?
yeah.
But
Try
hey,
it
let me
out,
ask you
bro.
a quick question.
Yeah.
You asked me a bunch of questions. Uh, this show's an awesome show, but do you ever get like, I mean, comment, because like nowadays with Instagram and Facebook, all this, do you ever get like trolls or comments of
Oh,
just
all
like
the time.
crazy type
Haters, bro.
stuff?
I get haters. I get
Really?
people talking
The thing,
shit.
I can't see it for this. Like it's like
Yeah.
a platform and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you
I
do?
oh, of course. You know you're doing something good. I always say that. You know you're doing something good if you get haters. Oh,
Oh.
you so dumb. You don't even know how to talk. And then you go on their page. They they're probably in their, they get like 15, 20 followers, and they're just
Yeah, that's
making trouble. And hey, if that's what makes you happy, whatever. Because I think I have thick skin. At first, I would be like, "What you said?" But it's like, bro, if you can take the time out to actually listen to my show and then talk shit about it and comment, and bruh, like, it's just, I kind of feel sad for you. Some I get good criticism, like, "Hey, why don't you
right.
try this?"
I
Or,
appreciate that.
yeah. Or, "Oh, that was so, maybe you shouldn't have said that," or maybe I love that because I use that. Now I'm getting criticism from people who actually want to see it get better. That for me is way more fun. But yeah, I do get trolls, and yeah, I
I'm
even had like
shocked. Wow.
people make fake accounts, and yeah, it's just
Really?
whatever. Yeah. And I'm a nightclub promoter, so I also get hate on that end too. And it's just
And even for the competition, they're probably like, yeah, this guy, whatever.
yeah, oh, you think you're so bad because you the guy in the club can get I say, brah, like I get you in. How about that? I'll get a drink with you, brah. It'd be cool. You know what I mean? You kind of get mad about that. So it's yeah, it's it whenever you put yourself out there and leave yourself susceptible to criticism or people there, it's just sad that there are people like that, but that kind of gauges your success because
That's true.
if
If you don't have
people
any haters,
yeah
you're not you're
yeah
not you're not enough people to watch your stuff, I guess, right? You know what I
yeah
mean?
exactly. But I think what you're doing is a positive thing, and I feel like I'm doing the same thing, which is trying to create positivity, but and aloha. But yeah, it is what it is. Anything on the internet is gonna get like gonna have people make you trouble. It's just we're in that day and age. See, in the past, like you said, there's no iPhones, anything. If you can talk shit to somebody, you risk getting punched in the face. Now,
Especially Hawaii, right?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
oh, Hawaii 951. Hey, I know that guy, hey, bro.
Yeah,
Talk to you later. But
yeah,
now it's just like,
yeah.
ah,
You know, somebody's at their home with Cheeto fingers in the mom's basement talking shit because they don't have anything better to do. Then hey, well, if that's your life, enjoy it, bro. If that's who you are, whatever. It don't bother me.
for me, I get like that 99% like just awesome
Yeah,
comment. I mean, really good things. But every once in a while, I get that one like weird
yeah,
like hater comment. I'm like, and I know I don't take it personally because I know you can't please everybody.
yeah,
You don't talk to let it. Oh, bro, this baby, I used to catch like bullshit kind of 10
yeah,
pounders all day every day. Let that one smaller, whatever. Then I catch one bigger. Oh, let that one. Oh, can I win then? Oh,
yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean?
The main thing is you don't let it affect you because I know people who've had that issues before, like people who are kind of getting popular and then people start and it would bother them like, oh, this guy is it. I was like, bro, like if you're gonna let people uh being negative to you on social media, then you shouldn't be on it because it's always gonna happen. It's gonna happen all the time. Like that's just society and yeah, it comes to the point where you don't need to prove them right or wrong. Just smile and wave, bro. It's all good.
That's good advice because yeah, I think I was growing and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm doing something good for everybody. Why is this guy trolling? And
Yeah.
like, they're gonna do it no matter what, you know. So
Exactly. And if he doesn't do it, he's probably looking at somebody else and doing the same thing. And it's just sad people are like that. But yeah, it's they want to get a rise out of you. They want to get and
yeah, how
they
that is.
get yeah, they get their jollies off affecting you the way they want to affect you. So if you just say, "Oh, right on, thanks, bro," maybe you right, then they don't know what to say because you agreeing with them or you just
Hey,
oh. And I had a hungry Hawaiian on.
oh,
Yeah, he was talking about the same thing, but he gets all kind like hate
yeah,
or
he's
and
a
he just
I can see it
yeah.
all the ways, right?
And
And I win.
he explained to me it's just oh yeah I just the kind oh right on bro you right or just and it's like water off a duck's back and then yeah. Well, last thing I want to talk to you about was your latest video because this one was kind of intense and you went hunting and you shoot one pig and you cooked it and like that video was different from pretty much the ones that I've seen but bro,
Right, right.
how was that experience? You was watching Trail, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not even exaggerating when I said, "Oh, yeah, finally got one out of 8 years." I mean, for real kind, it's probably even longer than that because Cap Johnson got me into like bull hunting and all this other stuff, and then what happened was, I invested. I bought the bull. I got the hunting classes. I did everything. Then we're supposed to go Lanai because he retired. We're supposed to go Lanai, and then that weekend something happened where he couldn't go. Then uh he actually had a stroke. Like,
Oh.
could have died, kind of. Thank God somebody found him. Everybody got there, and now he's okay. But ever since then, I mean, he doesn't really go hunting as much. So then we will kind of mess around here and there, but nothing serious. And then every time you get big problems, I'll go there and just I'll scare him off, but I don't hit nothing. I'm just like, yeah, I might as well just be like, well, But it finally was like, okay, I I, I finally got one. So it was just an amazing experience, and I think God really blessed me on that one because I sat there for an hour. I could like mocking me. I could hear them, but they wouldn't come. So I did like go up in the mountain 3 times. If you watch the video, and it was like
Yeah.
just lucky enough they finally came back, and I thought I messed it all up, and lucky enough one of them popped out and stayed, and that was the biggest one. It wasn't the
Yeah.
biggest. I know these big island guys are like, baby, I got it, but this is more pest control and a personal victory for me. So it was huge.
That's
Yeah.
super cool. You seem to know what you were doing though. So you practice archery a lot, or?
Um, Not as much as I should. Yeah, not as much as I should. I kind of it's funny because every time he calls me, oh, this picture, then I'll practice it, get kind of there again, and then drop it off because obviously fishing and diving it takes so much
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And I got the kids and everybody else, so I don't really have the time to master that craft. I think whatever your passion is, it's
Yeah.
gonna take a
Yeah.
you can't just be good at anything and just I'll just do it once in a while. So I'm in that okay range. So all
Well,
right.
you seem to know what you're doing, and like you tracked it after you shot it, and you knew how to skin it and cook it. It was right. Like you made that thing look good. I was like I said, if that video was live and I seen it, you might have got a phone call. I was like, bro, I gotta try some of that.
You know why? Because actually I helped Cap Johnson. He's old.
Okay.
He's older. He still shot how many? And he gave me not the fake phone call, but like, oh, I cannot I lost his trail. You can help me find him. So I go there and I help him find him. Hey, we track him. He's like, oh yeah, I think I found it. It's right here.
Oh.
God, this guy knew exactly where it was. It was too big, so he couldn't carry it back to the house.
Oh.
I just knew, okay, oh, glad we found it.
Ah, well, you
And,
learned.
clean them. Yeah. We clean them. Meaning it's me cleaning them.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of experience cleaning and carrying. Not so much experience shooting one.
Oh,
So
but
that's
that
what
was
it.
cool because you got to show your son how to skin them, and I'm sure
Yeah,
he got to watch you cook it and stuff. That like
and he
that's you
did good.
passing on what your captain taught you.
Yeah, and he never did that before, but he was like, "Wow."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, okay, go, yeah, go get him. He's gonna hit the guts."
Yeah. How ono was that though? Like, oh, that thing looks super. You can smoke them first, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, super good. I just winged it because I was like, "Oh, I don't know what to do with this thing, but I don't want to waste it because I cleaned it." But
yeah,
it fit in my smoker barely. I was like, "All right, let's just smoke it and grill it." Right? I figured
nice.
ribs and bacon can't
Oh
go
yeah. Yep.
wrong.
So it's a winner.
Yeah, I figured I can't mess this up.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool, bro. That and it gave you a diversity for your show because that's something new that people got to see. You know what I mean?
Right. I probably honestly I probably won't do that much. I was just a
Yeah,
really
yeah,
but I just feel like this is not my genre as far as putting out for the show. But I figure, hey, you guys are all part of my life.
yeah,
Hey, this is life. Let's be part of it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Your narrative too was super good. Like what how you were thinking, what you were feeling, or the excitement. Like you said, oh, I was all shaking and nervous. Like that kind of stuff. Like is a good narrative.
I was. I mean, even shooting, I was like, whoa. I glad the camera wasn't on me when I was doing it. Like, oh, how's this amateur?
All right, on. Well, we've been going for over an hour, and I appreciate you taking time out away from your family and stuff to come on and talk about everything. And like you said, maybe somebody will hear this and get a little educated or seek out your videos and get more educated. So who knows, man? It could be something cool, but where
I
can people
appreciate it, man. You're like a legend in this business. You know what I mean?
no way.
Oh, really, I mean, the promotions and all this other stuff, all this world experience. Like, I don't even know how. Honestly, you have the time or energy to do all this. To be honest,
Me neither, bro.
because you got kids too, so I'm like, man,
Yeah. Yeah.
you pull it off too.
But
So
it's cool for me because, like I said, like my daughter knows that I'm passionate about this. So she sees me doing my passion that will give her the same kind of drive, hopefully, to pursue whatever passion or whatever she's passionate about. So I kind of showing by example is kind of my thing. I always want to lead by example, not just tell somebody to do something. I gotta do it too and show them. And that's the same thing you're doing and letting your kids experience. So, brah, it's working, man.
Thank you again, man. And for real, kind, let's go fishing one day.
I'm down, bro. Even if it's just to put the pole in the sand and drink beers, I'll be down.
All right, man.
We'll bring Jared. Before you go, where can people find your Instagram and your YouTube? Where can people find you on the internet?
So yeah, my Facebook is more just my family. So if you want to message me or follow me, it's all on Instagram, on Fire Fishing Hawaii, and my YouTube same, on Fire Fishing Hawaii. So just look up any of those two, and you'll find me.
Yeah, go check it out. And for us, it's always Above the Bridge Podcast on Instagram, our YouTube channel. My Instagram is Thaddy Daddy High. Our website is atbpod.com. And yeah, go check it out and see what's on there. And all our episodes are on the YouTube channel as well as the website. Right on, man. Well, before you go, let's take a shakas for the cameras.
Shoots.
Right on, bro. Thank you again for coming on. I appreciate it. It was a fun episode, and I'm kind of excited to see where you take this in the future, and we'll have you back on in the future and see what kind of things you're into and how far your YouTube channel grows, and yeah, how much difference you've been making.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Right on, man. We're out. Shout out to the Artist Group Network. Aloha.